Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today on this picture-perfect Saturday afternoon. A little windy out, but the main track is fast. The turf is good. Just feels good to even say that we are on the grass. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you on this loaded 12 race card today. We've got the second leg of the Florida Sire Series. If you've been living under a rock, rated by merit, undefeated in 2 starts, as well as our Morning Brew. You got me about to say our
Harper Rose, because there's our Harper Rose winning last year.
Yep.
But, her stablemate, our Morning Brew, same connections, is going to be front and center today. 2 undefeated horses that quite honestly haven't even been tested. So we'll try to see if that happens today as they stretch out to 7 furlongs. I said it yesterday. I tweeted it. I'll say it again right now. It's the best card we've run here at Gulfstream Park since Curlin Florida Derby Day, and it has a very, very championship meet feel to it.
It does. It's just very exciting that we're getting close to that. $200,000 is the purse for those 2 Florida Sire stakes. Of course, we love the Florida Sires and that whole breeding program, so it's good for the track and very exciting. A little bit later on the card, we've got $100,000 in that gross estimate of the Rainbow Six. They'll be firing today.
Yeah, I'd like to think the pools are going to be pretty big today. You can see the rainbow there. We've got the 6 figures now. I would expect it to be comfortably over that. It hit at about 75 yesterday. And, like you said, and these pools today, including the early pick 5, should be pretty healthy.
And speaking of the early pick 5, you've got the ticket.
I do. Not a lot going on today in terms of scratches. That's good. One race got roughed up a little bit, but I didn't lose anybody too much. I got a single in the first race. We'll see how that goes here. Race number 2 will go 4 deep. This is, and I said this yesterday, this is the best maiden 2-year-old race we've run all year. Can't wait to see it. 4 deep for me with the 7 Switzler Jammin' on top in race number 3. I just have to think Octane's going to be back on his game today, and that's a problem for everybody else. I don't blame anybody that thinks otherwise, though, because it'll be a very short price. In race number 4, I do scratch into the 11 Sawakin. A couple of these horses that scratch we'll see tomorrow. And in race number 5, that is a spread on the turf. I'll go to the inside. Super Freaky Girl, and you've got a video pulled up with her.
We do indeed. She's all right. You get it?
Super Freaky Girl?
You did the song. All right. Anyway.
No. Why did I get that?
Race 1. It's on the grass course, and it's a loaded field here. 7.5 furlongs. The rails are at 31 feet. That was the setting yesterday. Like I said, good to be back on the grass here at Gulfstream Park today. And the number 13 is the only change in this race is out of this spot. And the number 8, I'm not going to try to say that, but we will watch the replay, attempt 2, from Keeneland. And thank you guys. Yes, this is at, Kentucky Downs. And thank you guys for getting this. It took me a few tries, admittedly, to pin this one down here. But Kentucky Downs, this was a day. So it was interesting. This day early on in the meet, they had the rails out. The variant was 33, Brian. Then they put it down, and the variant changed the rails down, and they mowed the grass, and it changed completely to a speed favoring turf course.
Historically speed favoring there this year.
That's so true, yeah. But this year was really
even more so. That's
wild.
What I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, you can't take anything away from that horse because still finishing 4th in an 11-horse field is good.
Right. And they run really good turf races, obviously, at Kentucky Downs. A big field with white poles in the middle of it, and they run around out there. And those are good races with huge money. Huge drop today. And the 8, Ibrahimovic, he's run well here in the past. And now we're in for the tag. It's just the old go angle here. And main man Marcos Meneses is here as well. And I would think he's going to be a pretty stiff favorite when it's all said and done.
Yeah, most definitely. Now the number 4, Jerry O'Dwyer, sends out Always True, who will try the grass for the first time.
Yeah, we've got a stat for Jerry. This is kind of the house horse. He's run very, very well, but there are 2 races on Tapeta. So can he transfer it today? 10%, not a big sample. It's not terrible. It's not great. It is what it is. He does have a couple wins, though. Scat Daddy is on the bottom of this pedigree, and that's a big deal. We've lost Scat Daddy, but he was a very prolific turf sire, even though he won a Florida Derby right over here in the old days. He's turned out to be a very prolific turf sire, so there's no reason to think Always True doesn't handle the grass.
Yeah, and the number 10, this is a big drop. Even from Monmouth, they get full turf fields there. And if you're not in front, you're not going to play at all. And now this horse drops and was nowhere near the front, but they bet him last time.
They did, and Paco was aboard last time. Hey, if nothing else, he'll stick around again. I would assume they're going to bet him again today. Stretching out is not a bad thing. They paid $40,000 for a Not This Time.
That is
not good.
Not at all.
No, it stands for 150.
Yes. So
you don't see that.
No, you don't. And Not This Time has really just blown me away as a sire. We'll flip the page to race number 2. It is maiden special weight event, 6 furlongs on the fast main track. Brian will tweet out that early pick 4 ticket. Oh, what an incredible field here. There's just so much. This literally maybe took me like 40 minutes to do. But we'll start it off with the number 7. Switzler Jammin' for Ron Spatz.
So this is, we talked about yesterday the tote board race. That full to Blazing Sevens was completely dead on the board in the race with She's So Spicy. We'll show you that in a lightning round. She ran okay. The point is the tote board tells you things in these races, and they told you yesterday that horse wasn't going to win. Didn't win, okay? Didn't hit the board. So tab the tote here, and we'll see what's going on. But Ronnie Spatz is going to reach out for Paco Lopez. This is the third foal out of an unraced dam. The other one that hit the track won on debut, and it was undervalued asset, who's very, very good for Chad Brown and Seth Klarman, who was second right here in the forward gal. There's some pedigree power here. The works are pretty sharp, and Ronnie knows how to get a horse ready to roll. So I think this horse could be live today.
Yeah, and definitely check the Will Pace. I've got the 8 on top, Maximus Cat, and this is interesting because this is a horse that the dam won this first 2 races, dirt sprinting, and they had this horse entered last week on the grass going 5 furlongs. They scratched off the Tapeta, but my note on this horse from last week was, why are they not running on the dirt? And we'll take a look at the sales work here. Tom McLaughlin sold this horse. I'm not a huge fan of the horses that he sells. He sold Kingsbarns. Okay. That's maybe the only horse of his that I like. It is, yes. But in general, I'm not a fan. Now, look at how strong this horse is. Does this horse look anything like a grass horse? Not really, exactly. So I was very confused at this. This horse worked 21-1. It was 85 degrees. This is just such a big, strong horse. I think he's going to suit perfectly on the dirt. And who do we get here? Sammy Camacho. This is a barn that fires off well with first-time starters.
Yeah, and the dam that you said 2 for 2, they were by 16.5 lengths.
Right.
So she was very precocious. Ended up winning 5 races. They didn't pay a lot for this horse, just a quarter, $25,000. But good to see Sammy, the main man here for Gerald Bennett, who's won a few 2-year-old races, including a stakes with Naughty Rascal. So, you would expect this horse to get bet a little bit.
The 2 Shot in the Dark was working with that 2-year-old I liked yesterday of Jenna's, who missed the break and just finished, I think, like 5th.
Yeah.
That was the horse on the outside. But one thing about this colt, he's got experience.
Well, if they don't bet the firsters, and we're going to talk about Rolando in a quick second here, this horse could be even money.
Right.
Because you got 2 Saratoga races where he was hardly disgraced. The form is going forward. 2 quote-unquote big buyer figures, blinkers for a little more tightness today, a little bit sharper as well. And then look at the local bullet there on October 9th. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're not going to bet Rolando or somebody else. This horse will be a pretty solid favorite. But now we can talk about the 9, who is just working off the page, and I do have to think they're going to bet this horse.
Well, Vacoma's, if they're not winning first and second out, I mean, they win by their 4th start. I'm almost positive. We have to go and look at that. But let's take a look at this work from Palm Meadows, which just in general, they usually don't work that fast there. Now, this horse worked from the gate on 9:27. Don't pay attention to the workmate, Cloud Computing. This horse breaks like a shot here right up front. And look at this stride, too. I mean, there's just, if he breaks like this and they get away, we saw it with She Is So Spicy yesterday. Good luck making up the ground.
Yeah, and this is a homebred for St. George Stable who, campaigned with Fausto Gutierrez. Latruska in the dam of this horse is a half-sister to Latruska, and she was okay in her own right. Latruska is a champion and could be a Hall of Famer, but this horse, the dam, was 2 for 5. It did take her 3 starts to break her maiden. This is a homebred, but they're supposed to bet this horse, and Vacoma has been by far the most prolific freshman sire in the country, and it's not even close.
She just keeps going here, too. I mean, that's what's so impressive about this. It's not like the workmate is really pushing her along, but she's got her ears pricked and just, or he, pardon me, just continues to keep rolling on. So this is going to be a really fun race.
Yeah, let's take a look at his stat for Fausto, too. It's good to see him back. He had a very, very big summer here with 2-year-olds 2 years ago. First-time starters, dirt sprints. You would have, Vacoma won the Met Mile, and we know Latruska wanted to run all day, so maybe this horse needs a little more ground today. He is drawn all the way to the outside, but I think this is an exciting, exciting horse that, regardless of what happens today, I think you would think, at least, just what we saw there and on paper, has a very, very bright future.
Yeah. Race 3, it is the Gil Campbell Memorial Stakes mile on the main track. We scratched the number 1 classic car wash. It's a field of 6. You alluded to it. Octane looks the one to beat here.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, and you didn't pick him, so this will be good TV here. If Octane brings his fastball, he can't lose. He'll literally win by 5 lengths. But with that being said, at 6-5 last time in a race where I didn't think he could lose, he was dreadful. He ran about 3 furlongs and stopped. He's been freshened, and he's been turned over to Jorge Delgado since. Look at the works. Who's here now? Edgard's here. Everything tells you Octane is back to his best, and his best, by the way, won a grade 3 over at Oaklawn this winter.
Right. Which, read into that what you will. What happens at Oaklawn stays
I get it,
Oaklawn.
but he's also 7 for 17 here, and every single, even his B-plus race drowns this field.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't like this race at all.
Yeah.
I don't know who's who. These horses are so in and out of form that I don't know what to do with them. I can't get a line on him. Big Martini, I don't really like him, but I will say if he brings his race 2 starts back, he's going to be dangerous.
Well, that race could theoretically give Octane a problem. We'll show you. This is the race last time with Local Barrio.
Yes, it is.
Local Barrio never wins. So
no.
This was in the slop. Comedy Town was decent enough third in the Phoenix.
I would say so. Yeah, decent enough third. He made a big run at Keeneland.
Yep.
So
He ran well for Safi. He had been 3 for 3 on the main track since Safi claimed him and turned him over to the dirt. Both of these horses run fine. The good thing for Big Martini is the big race from him was 2 starts back at a mile on dry land, fast track here. The L was on that day. He does not run with Lasix today.
No, and that's could be a problem. You can read into it what you will, but yeah, that could be. And Local Barrio, he's one that he's always right there, but he doesn't like to win.
Exactly. So he's a tough horse to put on top. I think you have the only other horse that if Octane is not back to, we're going to figure it out today with Octane. Where are you going from here?
Race number 4, it is 5 furlongs on the Tapeta track. This was really the only race that got hit with the scratch bug, and I'll go through this quickly. The 1 is out of the race 4 for these 2-year-old fillies. The 3 is out. The 5 is out. The 6 is out. The 10 is out. 13, 14, 15, 16, all out of this race. The 11 on top for you, Sawakin for Armando de la Cerda.
Yeah, we'll see some of these horses. The split division of this race is race 1 tomorrow, so
exactly.
We'll see some of them back. Scratch into this horse, Sawakin, who'll be a lot shorter of a price than with Bellamendi out of there, but I think she makes sense. It was a pretty good third on debut, and she should move forward, I would think.
Yeah, she definitely should. The 8 just seems like the other runner. Lots of race experience. Hasn't won, but lots of race experience.
Yeah, good to see Kent Sweezy back in the entry box here at Gulfstream Park. His barn had a good winter last year, and he will do so again this year, and, reaches out for Edgard, so you would think thinks that this horse will handle the Tapeta. Yeah,
I think those are the 2 horses. Maybe throw in Stubbled, even though this is a quick turnaround, but it just other than that that kind of clears out the race. Race number 5, it is 5 furlongs on the turf course, listed good today. It is the Tropical Turf Pick 3 that paid quite well yesterday. I didn't have the middle leg, but I got the single in the last. It's always really frustrating, but it paid about $300, so that was nice. $3 minimum, 15% takeout. We'll take a quick look at my ticket. I could have gone 3 by 3 by 3 here, honestly. I dropped one in the last. We'll get into this race in a second. Race number 9 is a really good one and a tough one to have in the middle of the sequence because they're maidens, but the 5 on top for me, the beach goes on. And in race number 12, I do have the 9 on top. That is Dash of Lemon. If there was a horse I would add in, if you want to add it in, I'm not going to do the math for you. Searchy is one that might be dangerous that I left out. That's my third choice. $54 is the play. Make sure to get involved in that. But this is a very, very good race for 3-year-old fillies. And did you have Super Freaky Girl on top? Yes, you did. Perfect.
$81, by the way.
Thank you.
54 plus 27 gets you.
I don't get
81. Super Freaky. Let's show the replay.
Yeah.
Super Freaky Girl last time in Deflection. Deflection's going to like the flow of this race, I think, because they are going to fly early. Super Freaky Girl's got to figure something out from down there. It's a little tricky, but Paco's got 4,000 wins figuring it out, so he can do it. This is a good effort. She's got a hint of a rating gear. She's not quite as good as the rest of these, but I think the flow of this race is going to help her because they are going to fly early on in here.
The rails were at 31 feet on this race that we just showed the replay of too, which is good. Yeah, it's a very quick pace in this race, and you've got the 7 underneath. So do I. Tiffany Gold. I don't know what to do with her because she was so impressive in her 2 starts here. She went to Monmouth and just ran so-so. Then they took her to Saratoga. She didn't really want any part of that. I don't like when you see on the line where it says tired. And what do you do with her here today?
Well, here's the thing about that, okay? Those are older gals at Saratoga.
That's true.
It was also a good turf course there. So maybe she wants to hear her feet rattle a little bit. We got some give out there. Here's the thing. You look at your form real quick. You say, oh, she's 0 for 1 on the Gulfstream turf. She's never hit the board. She won that race by 5 lengths, later to be disqualified. The post is a big deal for her. It's a big, big help. You know what's interesting, though, is that Victor scratched Great Venezuela yesterday on the Tapeta, which she owns, to run here against her stablemate, Tiffany Gold. I don't know.
Yeah, it is weird because I loved her race in the wait a while. That was a really good race.
It was at 2 turns.
Exactly. So I wonder if she's going to run out of ground. But maybe things you said about deflection, liking the setup of this race, maybe Great Venezuela is one that will appreciate that as well. Race number 6. It is 1 mile and 70 yards, $8,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. We scratched the number 2 out of here. It's a field of 9, and the number 7, Tiz Aaron, coming off a victory, looking paired up.
Well, look at my exacta. You got Tiz Aaron and Take Your Point.
Look at our picks.
Who just beat Maiden Claimers last time. And normally you say, oh, no, we got to face winners today. None of these quote winners does anything to inspire confidence in me, so I'll just come back. Hey, Tiz Aaron was actually pretty good last time, and she had to earn it. She ran better than your race call looks, where she got to clear a length and just ran off. No, they made her earn it in the middle of the race, and she finally showed some fight,
which is something she had never done before. So sometimes when they get that, they can kind of come back up. I've got my long shot in this race. This just seems like a race where maybe you could throw something at the wall.
Yeah, if somebody else names a horse from Games of Thrones, just run it here and Samantha will pick it.
Games of Thrones, that's it. I've always liked this horse regardless. And who do we get now? We get Mika Husbands, who, what he said. So you get the bug weight off. That's incredible. Going to need something to melt down on the front end because the last 2 races, she has not made much of an impact, but maybe she can today.
Yeah, she just hasn't been competitive in 2 starts against winners, and they haven't bet her either. We'll see what we get today. Hey, we talk about this all the time. No, all kidding aside, on Tapeta, form reversal can happen overnight.
Big time.
Maybe she's one of them. The price should certainly be right. Even with the scratch, you're supposed to get 12 or 15 on this horse.
Yeah, and the number 3 is another player that I think if you're playing something here, that's a horse you need to include.
For sure, but she's also 1 for 16, and she's had a heck of a time pairing up good races, so I don't really figure like I'm supposed to trust her today off a race that would beat everybody in this field last time.
Right. I could not agree more with you. We're going to take a short break, and whenever we come back, we'll have Ron Nicoletti's Rainbow 6 ticket as we get into the Florida Sire Stakes action.
And they're off. new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you on this beautiful Saturday afternoon of Florida Sire Stakes action. We've got a great card, big fields, Ron Nicoletti's Rainbow Six ticket, and I'll let Brian talk you through it.
We'll see what we got here.
Yeah.
Both include the Sire Stakes. He's got the single here right off the bat, and that is the 8 Rafid, who's Antonio Sana, long overdue to get going. He's got a nice one today in race number 2. He's going to use 2 deep in here. That's interesting. He's also going to use Neoquos, and I guess it is Safi, and going to try to maybe beat Rated by Merit or have an alternative at least. 4 deep in race 9. Really good maiden special weight on the turf for the 2-year-old fillies. We'll run the Colts tomorrow. And then a 3x3 late pick 3. And it's interesting, he too is going to use 3 horses in the Susan's Girl. Of course, Our Morning Brew, but also the 3 Win and You're In. And he caught up with Kathleen O'Connell, and she's got the 4 Don't Fool With Me, who was very good last time. 43.20. There you go. And we're expecting, and I'm going to stamp it with my approval, well over $100,000 in that estimated jackpot today.
Very competitive rainbow sequence in this spot. Now race number 7 kicks off with a doozy here because this is 2-year-old maidens, a mile on the main track, listed as fast. It's a full field of 9. This is another one of those, Brian, like the earlier race. That it's so competitive. The 3 for you, Melody Man.
So my best bet of the day.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, this horse has got a nice pedigree here for Heather Smolin
Yeah.
and Whisper Hill. Mandy Pope homebred. Big pedigree, actually. Buy Into Mischief out of an Unbridled Song mare. This horse, the old "they're off, you lose" kind of thing happened last time. They bet this horse in a 10-horse field last time, and we liked that race. That was a Delgado horse that came swooping on the outside. I think it's a good race. They bet this horse. This horse showed a big middle move last time and just left himself with too much to do. We go a mile today. We're not drawn outside anymore in the parking lot. The pedigree says more distance the better, and I'd like to think he's going to be better behaved today.
Yeah.
I think he's going to move forward in a big way. This is a very aggressive best bet for me in single and everything.
No, but I think it's a spot that you're allowed to do it in, and this horse needed a race. For sure. Just needed the race. This is going to put a lot more air into his lungs, which is a great thing. Now, the number 8, Rafid. I didn't want to put this horse on top. I looked at the sheets this morning to make sure that I just feel like with the experience of having that mile, ran a 10 last time on the sheets. We'll look at the replay here. But this was the replay from 2 starts back, so going 6.5. So you can see that he needs the ground, but we also have big shoulders and gain in this spot.
Yeah, so this is the other 2 races were stakes races. So, you know, Antonio thinks a lot of this horse. He's a homebred. He's another Into Mischief in here, and he runs very well in this spot here. Huge figure last time in the Aventura. Crazy Frazee had a class edge that day and had run in stakes. Monmouth, right?
Yes,
Crazy Frazee.
Crazy Frazee, yep.
Yeah, and so, listen, it's Rafid's time, and it's his race to lose today. He's just going to be a very short number. This is the kind of race now that's going to funnel the winner and even the horses that run well underneath into what their connections hope are a path, you know.
Right.
Holy Bull, Fountain Youth, Curlin, Florida Derby. That's this kind of race now, stretching these 2-year-olds out to a mile. Well,
the 2 is going to be very dangerous, the son of Global Campaign, because this is a horse that could possibly speed pop the field.
Good for him if he does, because
it's tough too. Yeah.
I'm not on this horse at all today.
Oh,
he's
okay.
A
well, yeah,
fade.
that's right. You've got your
for
sing.
me.
The 5 Borrowed Time. This is a big trainer change.
Okay, but I agree. Okay, to Carlos David, yes. He's been completely dead on the board for Rudy Brissett, who's a very good trainer in Kentucky at 9, 10, and 16, and they timed those races with a sundial. This horse, I know the bullet's there. Maybe they bet him. I don't know, but I got to just see a lot more from him.
Yeah, I'm not saying you run to the bank on him or anything, but I feel like we're going to get more out of this horse. And, again, this 1 mile distance, it's good to have that race experience for sure. Now, race number 8, it is the first of 2 Florida Sire Stakes races. We've got the Affirmed 7 furlongs. This is for the boys. Course rated by merit. We've got him back at undefeated, untested. We'll take a look at his last race because we've got Classic, of course, and Neoquos in here as well. Rated by merit was just tour de force here.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is here, you're not going to pick it up here because we're not going to show the whole thing. We've got so much to go through. He settled in this spot, which I think is a big deal because on debut he just blasted a field of overmatched horses, and we talk about this quite often with these 2-year-olds. Well, hey, I'm better than you. I'm going to go to the front, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just better than you. Well, last time he shut off very, very nicely, and he still did that, and he just pounded the horses that are theoretically his main opposition today. To me, onward and upward on a very, very exciting horse.
Yeah, he is. And we caught up with Mike Yates yesterday, and that's online. We posted it as well. He said he was tired after that race, which he said, I understand why. He said he runs hard all the time, but he said he never left his feed. They had to kind of change plans with the work schedule just due to so much rain that we've gotten in the last month, but he's had really nice open gallops. He said that he's really happy with the way he's coming in, and he doesn't think the distance should be a problem, and now it's just up to him.
Yeah, exactly. 7 furlongs can be a little bit of a gap tightener, and we'll see. But, again, he just vanquished Neoquos in Classic, of course, last time, and I don't see why. I don't see why they turn the tables. I don't see why it wouldn't just be a name to score again.
Right. Oh, it is my late pick 5, too.
Good. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we're just so excited about Rated by Merit. Blew through it, but spoiler alert, here we go. I'm singling race number 9. The 5 I do have on top. The Beach Goes On. Race 10. I think I'm using everybody but one horse. I do have the 3 on top. It's one of those races to me. Race number 11, there's my other single, the 5, or Morning Brew. And in the finale, I'm using a couple more than I am on my Tropical Turf, on top. But the 9, Dash of Lemon on top. It's a $42 play. All right, so that is the Affirmed Stakes. In race number 9, it's a maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies going 1 mile on the grass course here. We just scratched the AE at 13 of Smudge, another stacked field of 12 here. And you've got your late pick 4?
Yeah, I'm just going to go too deep. Honestly, you could use a lot more. You could have fun with this race. I'll use 2 of them in here. In race 10, that is my long shot, and it was good to see you have Sandpiper Memories in there. In race number 5, I'm certainly not trying to beat our Morning Brew, either. And then we'll go 5 deep, throw the blanket in the finale. The 6 for me on top, and that is Vino for the Queen. Wide open turf finale.
Yeah.
Tough sequence other than a potential free square.
There you go. So race 9, interesting race here. The 9 on top for you, Loving Gaze for Jack Sisterson. This is a horse that is going to stretch out, and they wanted the grass down. They'll get it.
Yeah, they'll get it today. I know No Nay Never doesn't want to run all day. Well, we got Spitestown on the bottom, so I think it's in there. That's fine with me. I thought this horse had some run and checked a little bit in mid-stretch. Would have been closer. Certainly wasn't going to win, but maybe could have hit the board. We got the race behind us now. Paco's here. Jack is going to start running more horses, and he knows what he's doing, that's for sure. He had a good winter here last year, and Coolmore's connections here as well. I think Love and Gaze. I feel like of anybody in here that's run, Samantha, this is the one making the biggest move forward today.
And that's what you want to look for here. You've got a horse like Brutally Honest underneath, who the half-sibling won long on the Tapeta here at Gulfstream first time out. So you've got that, early two-turn. There was one work on this horse, but it was hard to make anything of it on the Tapeta. She was on the rail. There really wasn't much to say too much about it. You don't have the 5 anywhere.
I don't know. I just always try to beat this barn first turf. I know, the Beach Goes On. I guess you're going to just say you want 2 turns, I guess. Has run okay in spots. Does have turf in the pedigree.
Yep.
We'll see. I could have used several horses in here, but
that's when we're going to go.
Are you expecting a big move forward?
I think so. Yeah, I would think so. I thought this horse just needed long, and I don't think that she liked the Tapeta at all. I felt like she was just jumping up and down on it. So I had in my notes, I only want her on the grass.
Okay.
I didn't want her on the Tapeta. She would have been one that I would have just tossed out if we had a change. Now, race number 10, claiming $10,000 event, a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. And don't forget our pick threes are $1 minimum now. Those payouts have been huge. We do scratch the 2 Streaking Gray, and let's hear about your long shot.
This horse had some run last time
Yeah.
in a good race. The Busy Moline and Wicklow Gal race is way better than the other races these horses are coming
Yes.
out of. And then she dove to the rail, and don't do that, okay? You're just going to stop your run. It's
Yes.
as simple as that. Was she going to win? Absolutely not. She was going to run better. Melvis Gonzalez, you've heard me talk about it time and time again. I've been impressed with the progress he's made
Yeah.
here. And he knows, I think, how to read a racing form. And I'm just hoping this, daughter of Mahaman's going to swoop now instead of hugging the fence the entire way. It's quicksand for the most part down there. I don't think she's impossible. And, she's looking up at some of these. I get that. But that's why she's 15-1.
Exactly. I've got the 3 on top with no strong conviction. It's Victor Barboza. They'll bet the horse, but I'm spreading so far in this race. Now, race number 11, it is the Susan's Girl, the fillies division of the Florida Sires, stake 7 furlongs, a very competitive race, a field of 7. We've got Our Morning Brew. We'll take a look at the replay, and I'll let you talk about her here.
So this is much like rated by merit. If everybody shows up to the party at 6:08 p.m. and runs this race again, they're not going to beat Our Morning Brew. She was awesome this day, and she had to earn it. And she just absolutely rebroke and ran off in deep stretch. Huge effort.
Huge.
The horse I want to talk about is Win and You're In, who
Okay.
appeared with front wraps last time.
Exactly.
At 1-2.
Yep.
And was
You can say
dreadful.
I knew
Okay.
that's where that was going, and correct.
Yeah. So let's see what she looks like out here today. She was 1-2 in that race, off a race where in the Sharp Susan against Open Company, she did what our Morning Brew did. She ran off the screen. Is she going the wrong way? Was it a blip on the radar? Let's see what she looks like today.
Yep.
Because she's the one, I think, that if the tables are going to be turned, it's probably going to be her. I'm not expecting it. I don't trust her, nor do you, it looks like.
Nope.
But, there's something back there that maybe she could get back to.
Let's really quickly look at Rogue Diamond, because this is the new shooter here
Right.
from Hawthorne, and you can talk a bit more about how this track plays. I know that she didn't beat anything, but
No.
these offspring of Roguish, the horse of Gerald Bennett's that we saw, they want to run all day long, it seems, seemingly. So maybe this is one that underneath would behoove you to use here.
Yeah, I mean, this is Larry Ravelli. If you're not familiar with this trainer, he is a prolific Midwest trainer.
Yeah.
Hawthorne, Arlington, which we've since lost, but this guy is very, very sharp, and he's got a Florida bred, and he's going to ship her down. She's got speed. You can't take anything out of that race. She was 60 cents on the dollar
Right.
with a 50 buyer beating overmatched horses. But she does have speed, and this is a barn that's just not going to ship to, get in the walking ring behind us. So, there could be some intent here. But as we always like to say, this is the big leagues today, and I'd have to see a little bit more from her.
Don't fool with me. We all have underneath, and she just broke her maiden, and she seems like one that's rounding out. We found a stat too, as on Kathleen O'Connell. We'll take a quick look at here.
Yeah, the problem with her, and here's the stat, and it's a good one, 2-year-old's maiden winner. So she did finally get some confidence last time.
She did.
Because she got beaten up by Our Morning Brew in both of her starts. Well, she's got to face her again today. The gap is a big one, but she's got a hint of a rating gear. Maybe if everybody tries to favor it early on, she can pick up the pieces late. I don't know about winning,
Yeah. I agree. Incredible Susan's Girl here in race number 11. Now, race 12, the finale. It's a complicated race, and hopefully you can get out of it. 1 mile and a 16th on the grass course. Rails are at 31 feet. We do have a clean field of 12. The 13, 14 are out. The number 6 on top for you. Vino for the Queen. Nick Palmer.
So we got 12 horses. We're giving you 7 of them. That's the type of race it is.
Yeah.
It's the type of race that blows up a rainbow. It's the type of race that sweeps a rainbow, to be honest with you. Hey, Vino for the Queen's run once on turf. It's kind of a pretty good effort.
It
Back
was.
in December, I guess that might have even been opening day of the championship meet.
Yeah.
Nick Palmer's okay. He's had a good year quietly. He's done some good things. Her form's okay. She's probably theoretically better now than she was then. Should be a decent price, right?
Yeah, I think so. The 9 Dash of Lemon I have on top. she showed speed here, which I liked on the grass 2 starts back. But I'm spreading in this race. You've got the 5 underneath. Ragtap Girl, I'm sorry, you cannot make me play a horse by Union Rags on the grass.
No, but I mean, she ran okay.
She did.
On debut.
She did.
It's Safi. We've got a weight allowance here. I
Yep.
think getting back to the turf might help her a little bit, even though I know she was nosed out on Tapia. It was a really slow race.
It was.
I picked your horse either last time or 2 back.
I remember
so,
that. Yeah, you did. I remember that. But when you pick Jenny Antonucci, she wins. When I do, she doesn't.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to be said about that. There's an incredible 12-race card here today, and we've got a quick lightning round to show you before we send it upstairs to Pete Aiello and get into this incredible card here. But we'll look back on yesterday because she is so spicy. Woo, was spicy.
Yeah, we've kind of hinted at the real racing starting to begin around here. I think we're getting a real an influx of a lot of quality.
Yep.
And this is one of them now. What an effort here for Team D'Angelo, and they've got a runner. Paco was aboard, and Paco is Ronnie will be out here in a little bit. Old Jiggy Jog in the park here, geared down in about 3rd gear. I don't think anything was behind this horse, to be perfectly honest with you, but I don't even think that matters when you do it like that. Very exciting prospect for a guy that's 9% with first-time starters.
Exactly.
Too, so
yeah, and it was a whole. They knew. Too.
You better look out.
Yeah, you better look out for that. And looking forward after Halloween, our first day back, first post moves to 12 p.m.
Yeah, so that's going to be the first Friday, November 1st. I believe that's Breeders' Cup Friday as well. So we're going to go to noon starting on November 1st, so 50 minutes earlier than right now.
All right, good maths there. And as far as your best bet?
Yeah, it's a
got a
bold
bold
one
one
with the Whisper Hill Homebred for Heather Smullen, and that is in race 7, the 3, Melody Man.
I lost mine, Bellamindy, so long shot?
Race 10, the 1, Sandpiper Memories, 15 on the morning line.
I like it, and mine is LTE Stark Winter 20-1 in race number 6. That's 12 of them for you. Ron Nicoletti will be out for the opener. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the day. We've got Taste at the Track going on upstairs. That actually might be where Ron is now, having a beer and a pretzel. We'll be getting involved in that. Only the pretzels, not the beer, until after 12 races. Enjoy the day. Upstairs, Pete Aiello. He'll give you the scratches and changes.